Trading with a high risk-reward ratio is the worst thing you can do as a trader. It feels like a smart move, but it's quietly suffocating your entire trading career. And I get it. On paper, high RR makes complete sense. Risk a little, make a lot. One winner pays for three losers. You don't even need to be right that often. It sounds almost too good, like you found a cheat code. So you start building your strategy around it. You're hunting 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s, maybe higher. You're letting trades run. You're holding through the drawdown because the math says it works out in the end, and sometimes it does. You get that big win, and it feels incredible, like you finally figured it out, like this is what trading is supposed to feel like. Then you give it all back, and this cycle just keeps repeating. Big win, string of losses, back to zero. Big win, string of losses, back to zero. And you keep telling yourself the math works, you just need to be more patient, more disciplined, stick to the plan. But here's the thing. The entire idea is the problem. Not all systems are created equal. It may look like success on the surface, but this way of trading is unknowingly keeping you chained to the ground and preventing you from ever hitting exponential results, which is the whole purpose of trading. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why you should stop trading this way and what to do to get on the path of exponential results. By the end of this, you're going to see your entire approach to risk differently, and you'll know exactly what to change. Now, most traders look at their trading results like a simple equation. As long as you're profitable, the method doesn't matter. Because when it comes to taking trades, the only two metrics you really need to care about are win rate and risk-reward ratio. If you have a good enough win rate and risk-reward ratio, you're profitable. If you don't, you're not profitable. It's as simple as that. You either have an edge with these metrics or you don't. And there's two main ways of doing this. Your strategy is either going to be high win rate and low risk reward, or low win rate and high risk reward. That's the trade-off you're going to experience. Think of it like a pendulum. In the middle of the pendulum, you have break-even. This is going to be your 1-to-1 risk reward and 50% win rate strategy. If you trade with this strategy, you won't end up with a profit and you won't end up with a loss. You'll end at break-even. To get profitable, you either need to improve your win rate or your risk-reward ratio. Ideally both, but you'll tilt toward one side. So you can have something like a 1-to-1, which is a low risk reward with a 70% win rate, which is quite high. This is a very profitable edge. And on the other side of the pendulum, you might have something like a 4-to-1 risk reward, which is quite high, but only with a 28% win rate. This is also a highly profitable edge. So that's the pendulum. If you want to maintain a profitable edge, you'll typically need to have a high win rate with a low risk reward. And if you want a higher risk reward, you'll need to sacrifice some of your win rate. Now everyone accepts this, but here's the problem. To figure out which strategy actually makes you more money over time, you need to calculate the expected value. All you're doing is asking, if I took this trade 100 times, what would I end up with? Take the 4-to-1 strategy with a 28% win rate. You win 28 trades and make 4 times your risk on each one. You lose 72 trades and lose 1 time your risk on each one. So 28 times 4 is 112, minus 72. That leaves you with 40 R profit over 100 trades, which means every single trade you take is worth 0.4 R on average. Now let's do the same for a 1-to-1 strategy with a 70% win rate. You win 70 trades and make 1 R. You also lose 30 and lose 1 R. 70 minus 30 is 40. This is also 40 R over 100 trades, or 0.4 R per trade. So these two systems have the same expected outcome, which means that in theory, they're identical, right? It doesn't matter which one you trade, but they are not identical. And this is the blind spot that holds so many traders back. Because what you're seeing is just the theoretical end result, but you're not seeing what it took to get there. If you have a person walking on the floor from point A to point B, and you also have a person walking on a tightrope from point A to point B at the same time, then they will both get to their destination. So from the point of view of someone who just saw the end result at point B, they would conclude that they're both the same. But the tightrope guy had a much more uncertain and difficult time getting there. The guy walking on the floor would have gotten the result virtually 100% of the time, while the tightrope guy would have failed many more times and would have had to put in way more effort. And it's the same with these two strategies. The expected value might be the same on paper, but the experience of actually trading them is completely different. The high risk-reward trader is the tightrope walker. Sure, he gets there eventually. But think about what it took. He had to sit through 72 losses out of every 100 trades. And not small losses either. Losses that wipe out everything he built before the big winner shows up. That is an incredibly difficult thing to do as a human being. Most people cannot stomach that. They start moving stops and they cut winners early because they're terrified of giving it back. They revenge trade after the losing streaks. It's unstable because the moment emotion enters the equation, the whole system falls apart. The guy walking on the floor doesn't have that problem. His wins come regularly. He's not surviving between big paydays. He's just building consistently. And that consistency is what keeps him in the game mentally. Even if you somehow master the psychology, even if you're completely emotionless about sitting through loss after loss, the high-risk reward strategy still has a ceiling. It's very, very hard to scale. Think about why we trade in the first place. We trade because we want to grow. We want to take something small and turn it into something much larger. We want to add size over time and watch the returns multiply. That's the whole point of the game. That's why we bother even attempting to trade these charts in the first place, right? But it's hard to scale something unpredictable. You can't add size to a strategy that swings violently between big wins and long losing streaks. Because as your position size grows, so does the psychological pressure. The losing streaks get harder to sit through. Your discipline starts cracking. The higher risk reward and lower win rate your strategy is, the closer you are to a gambler. The lower risk reward and higher win rate your strategy is, the closer you are to a compounding machine. Because it's easy to hit a few big wins and try to coast off that. It can work mathematically. But is that really a system you'd trust to grow and scale? Firms aren't impressed by your best day. They don't care about a trader who made a month's worth of profit in 2 days. They've seen that trader before and they know exactly what comes next. The big win day is almost always followed by a string of losses as the trader chases that feeling again. Takes lower quality setups and slowly gives it all back. So they deny you, not because you're not profitable, but because your profile looks exactly like a gambler's. Big swings, unpredictable results, no consistency. That's not someone they can trust with real capital. But the trader with boring, consistent, normal win days, they'll fund that trader every single time because that profile tells them something completely different. It tells them there's a real system behind the results. And a repeatable process is something you can actually build on. It's harder to achieve, but also clearly superior. So how do we actually build a strategy like this that we can scale? With consistent results, high win rate, and low stress? Well, here's the thing. All problems in trading come from variability. The more variable a system is, the less you trust it, and the less scalable it is. Variability is your enemy. You'd rather have a system that moves up and to the right consistently than a system that grows faster, but has lots of losing streaks and unpredictable moves. If you had a $10,000 account and you're trading a system that takes 13 losses in a row, then you can't risk much per trade. You can't risk $1,000 a trade because you risk blowing the whole account. Your risk needs to stay small, and you can't really scale it up. But if you're trading a system that only takes a maximum of 2 or 3 losses in a row, then you can comfortably risk $1,000 a trade because you have enough of a buffer to handle the drawdown, or even more actually. And as soon as you have more capital, you can confidently bet more per trade. That's how you scale to much larger sizes. And this is only possible if you reduce variability as much as possible. Basically, you want your equity curve to look as close to a straight 45-degree line as possible. Now, this is actually simple. When it comes to having a system, your edge needs to be objective and repeatable. And second, we need to have specific risk management rules in case things do go sideways. An objective edge means every single decision you make is rule-based. Because the moment you introduce subjectivity, you introduce variability. And variability is what we're trying to eliminate. Most traders think they have a system, but what they actually have is a set of loose guidelines that they interpret differently, depending on their mood, their last trade, how much sleep they got, whether they're up or down on the week. And that's not a system at all. A real edge has no gray areas. You look at the chart and either the conditions are there or they're not. Either you take the trade or you don't. There's no convincing yourself. There's no close enough. The rules make the decision for you. That's the standard. Now let me show you what actually meets it. A repeatable edge needs 3 things: a clear layout, a way to determine bias, and an entry trigger. The first thing you need is to know where you're trading. And I don't mean a general area on the chart. I mean a specific zone where price has a real reason to react. These are supply and demand zones. They're areas where big money has already been placed and where price has shown up before, reacted, and moved away. Once you have these mapped out, you know exactly where you're looking to trade, and you completely ignore everything in between those zones. When price gets in one of those zones, you need a way to determine bias, so you can enter the trade in the right direction. And for this, I use the EMA cloud, which will point you in the direction of the trend. This is where the market is most likely to move, and that's it. No candle reading, no interpretation, no gut feeling. The cloud just tells you which way to lean and you listen. And then you need something to actually pull the trigger. Price sitting at a zone with cloud bias is just potential. You need the market to actually commit, and that's the breakout. When price breaks out of the zone in the direction the cloud is pointing, that's your signal. The market just told you it's ready to move. You get in, your stop goes above market structure, and your target is the next level. You just need these three things to line up: a zone, a bias, and a breakout. Now this is what I call the level, confirmation and execution model, or the LCE model, and it's the strategy I trade every day. I'll link a video here showing back-tested results of this strategy, but this is how you actually get an objective and repeatable edge that's not dependent on your thoughts or your mood or your performance. And this is the first step to getting a consistent, scalable strategy. The next part is risk management, because you need order. You don't just want to be taking every single trade that this system produces at all times. You physically wouldn't be able to, and even if you did, it would increase your variability. So we need some solid risk management to stabilize it. And these are just two rules. Number one is to stop trading after one win. So if you take a win for the day, just lock it in and stop trading. This will prevent you from giving all your gains back or just having super unstable trading results. And rule number two is to stop trading after you take two losses. So your first trade may be a loss, and that's fine, but if your second trade is a loss, then you need to cut it for the day. This will prevent tilting and from having one day blow up your entire account. So you're locking in wins and capping losses, which is the most stable system you can have. You'll be extremely confident in this, especially after you've traded it for a while, and you'll be able to scale confidently when you're ready. And this will put you light years ahead of the other guy trying to hit it big with a few oversized wins, and you're doing it for a fraction of the work. The traders who actually build something don't have highlight reels. They have boring, consistent weeks that stack on top of each other until the numbers become impossible to ignore. It's not easy, but it's what actually works. And once you have this dialed in, scaling becomes the most natural thing in the world. And if you want help applying this in the real market, I have an accelerator program where I work with traders directly. You get the exact levels I use, one-on-one support from me, and a community of people all trading the same way. Link is below if you're interested. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.